Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, hello.
You might have to say what's up again, Wise.
Oh, we
Oh,
have
I don't have to say what's up again.
I say you probably have to because the broadcast came on after you said hi to the audience.
Oh, okay. What's up, everyone?
so tonight we have a kind of controversial and a little bit divisive and pretty much I don't give a shit topic, and it's body
Talk
autonomy.
your shit.
It includes like a woman's right to teaching your kids that they do not have to kiss grandma or Uncle Jerry, like mom's new boyfriend or mom's new boyfriend's brother. They don't have to kiss them. They don't have to touch them. They don't have to sit on their lap. They don't have to go see Santa. They don't have to like snuggle up to the Easter bunny. Your kids don't have to do anything with their bodies that they don't feel 100% good about.
That's 100% true. I've taught my kids that since they were young kids. Listen, you don't sit on no one's lap. You don't gotta hug no one, whether they're related to you or not. Like if you're not comfortable with that, you're not comfortable. And I feel grown-ups put too much emphasis on, oh, this is auntie, this is uncle, give them a kid. Nah, get the hell out of here.
No,
That ain't necessary.
come on.
No.
Well, it was a rule in the Headley household that we were not supposed to sit on men's laps. And if we even look like, I mean, it and my mother was like y'all said, it was cousin, brother, father, nothing. Don't sit on no man's lap. That was a rule. And if she caught you, your ass was grass.
Well, that was a rule in my family's household. I really think that was a real serious thing in the black household. I don't know. I can't speak for the white households,
No, no,
but I
because I
know.
was the girl. You had to be like very polite and go and
Right.
like maybe if you didn't sit on somebody's lap, but if you were comfortable with them on Tuesday and they came over on Saturday, you had to like chin up and have the same level of comfort.
Nope. In our household, they don't care who the hell you
Really?
was. You could be Santa Claus. You could be great granddad, whatever. No girl was sitting on no man's lap.
Nope.
And then as time went on, and they found out about the homosexuality and stuff of that nature. It even went to, well, you don't need to sit on no female's lap either because you don't know what she's into. So it could be whatever. So like I said, really in the black community, they push that agenda hard. You're not sitting on nobody's lap. And if you did, it was problems when that person left. And you wasn't gonna sit on nobody's lap the next time. So that's a whole deep situation right there. But I always taught my daughters, my friends would come over or whatever. And first of all, I also feel kids shouldn't be up in adults' face anyway, so it ain't no reason for them to be around. But when my friends would be around, my kids would be in the back playing or doing whatever they were doing. Nobody was sitting on nobody's lap. The only lap they were sitting on was dad. And that was because I was on my keyboard, my piano playing, and they would sit there and listen to me play the keyboards, stuff like that. But even with me, I wasn't making it a habit of my daughters or anybody sitting on my lap. You don't feel comfortable sitting on no one's lap. Like you
Period.
you do what make you comfortable. And that's how I ran it. And that's how I always. But we're in a different time. We're in a different era now. I know my sons. They do it a little different from me. They look at life a little different from me. Be like, Dad, you're old fashioned. So I'm like, okay, this is your
I
kid.
will say this. I could agree with it. It might be a little different now because back then, like I feel like when we were growing up, everything was Because
Right, hush hush.
just as much as in the black household, it was don't sit on nobody's lap. It was also whatever goes on in this house stays in this house.
Right, right. That was very,
So
very prevalent back in the days. Whatever
right,
goes on in this household, don't let it get out the household. So if Uncle Junebug was touching, tickling your booty, you wasn't telling nobody. If Aunt Mary was trying to get you to sniff downtown, you wasn't telling nobody. So no, that I'm serious. That's how it
it's
was in
the
the black
truth.
household. You kept
It's
everything under wraps. So it was a lot of stuff that would happen that that was brushed under the table because in the black household you don't talk about what's going on. So it was a lot of craziness that was going on. So I don't know. But nowadays people are more open. A lot of things are talked about a lot more.
And
So I think there's a lot more leeway now also.
plus, schools definitely encourage little kids, like, don't hold on to that secret. Nobody is worth you protecting them. Nobody,
not
like,
only that, like honestly, the school be having. Remember why is a lot of times when we used to have those things in from 113, like that's when you found out a lot of things happening in these households with these
Oh
girls,
yeah,
because we used to have like speak out day or whatever that was, and that's when we was filling out mad reports because people was coming, girls was coming out, my stepfather touched me, my this touched me, my that touched me, and it's sad.
and we would be like, damn, like I when I first got on school safety, there was a young lady I'll never forget. She used to wild out every single day, and me and her got a pretty good rapport. And one day I was sitting down with her after she finished wilding out. I just let her sit down with me. I sat on the floor, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Well, my mother's girlfriend don't like me, so she's mean to me and she hits me." And I'm like, "What?" So now, Sean, to tell you, we have to report that stuff.
yeah, you're
So
man
now,
reporters. Yeah.
right? So now I go tell the guidance counselor, who was a piece of shit himself, but so I tell him this is
Wait,
going
what?
on, that is going on. Oh no, that was before 113.
No, okay, okay, go, okay.
So I told him that was going on, and he's like, "Oh well, we'll deal with it." But he's making jokes about it. Her mom's is big and ugly. Who would want her anyway? And like that whole part was crazy. But the part that just used to drive me crazy is that she was so beat down because her mother chose her lover over her daughter. And there's a lot of that goes on also. So the lady was touching on the girl, beating on her and stuff like that. So it was crazy. But like I said, once again, it came down to the like the Navy, don't ask, don't tell. And it was the little secret. So it's a sad situation, but it's more prevalent than a lot of us would like to admit that what's going on in society. And it's even like I was talking before we came on, like even with this Roe versus Wade thing, I truly feel as a man I have no right to tell any woman what to do with her body.
Right.
Like like you but now even with that, this is going to be a controversial thing I say,
Uh-oh.
but it's real and it's honest, and this is really truly how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a woman, I can't tell you, oh, I don't. You can't have an abortion. You can't do well now. They can, but I'm saying at one time you couldn't say nothing like that. But at the end of the day, a man has no choice in the matter. Like even if he doesn't want the kid, he has to go down and sign paperwork. He gets taken for child support and stuff like that. So I'm like, it's a little
But you know they trying to
lopsided.
push that too.
You know why they pushing that? Because they found out over the years there were a lot of women saying, "Oh, this is your baby." The guy signs the birth certificate, and down the road, down the line, they find out, "Oh, this isn't your kid."
No, but they're pushing, at least out here in Georgia, that if it's your baby, the mother could take you for child support while she's pregnant.
Oh yeah, yeah. I heard about that.
Oh, okay,
I heard
that's
about that.
that's crazy.
But see, with that, I'm saying the man has no choice. That woman could say, "Oh well, I don't care if you want the baby or not. You're going to be involved in this." But at any time, at one time, before this Roe versus Wade thing, if a woman said, "Well, I don't want this kid," no matter what the father said, she had the right to do whatever she wanted.
Hmm.
So I felt that was a little unfair also. But it goes back to when you lay down with somebody, you know what you're doing. So you better take all precaution.
And you
I
got to get
think
to know your partner.
right,
Oh, wake up with please.
right. I tell my sons, well, two of them got babies now, but I tell my youngest one, if you like, I'm not gonna say he's not gonna have intercourse or anything like that, but I also I tell him if you're gonna engage in that behavior, make sure you wrap it up. If you don't wrap
Yeah.
it up, be ready for the responsibility. That's it. That's
Period.
it. And they know how I get down. I don't believe in like the deadbeat dad stuff. I'm like, even though me and their mom wasn't together, I always made sure my kids were good. Always
But
spent
I was
time with my
married at one
kids.
point.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that are married and dip out on the kids also. So
Well, that's
that's a sad truth.
And
But
that is sad truth. There's a
but
lot.
Miss Barbara, so how are you feeling about the whole Roe versus Wade thing?
Um, like I'm pissed off because I feel like the wording is what's getting to me because they can use this wording that these rights are not guaranteed in the Constitution. That's what they use to overturn it. There's a lot of
yeah.
other rights that have come since the Constitution that don't have wording that's like covered by any amendment, like that rights that are not codified,
Hmm.
including gay marriage, interracial marriage, um, the rights for gay people to adopt. Um, and I'm like drawing a blank right now, but there's like a whole slew of rights that people have that can be overturned using this same.
But now let me tell you something about even that, about what I feel. That's on the people because you have to go out and vote. And I'm not talking about just voting for the president and
Vote.
stuff like
Councilman,
that. You got
And
councilman,
to vote
yeah.
locally
yeah,
because the local people are the ones that's governing where you are. So if you're not out there handling what you have to handle and voting locally, you cannot complain about the laws because you didn't do your part. You got to vote these people out. And everybody.
my thing is, I feel like we got so caught up in this Hillary versus Trump, all this
Right.
other stuff, and look what the fuck we
So
Like
got.
they were slipping shit in the back door.
the miniature shit that Hillary did, Trump was busy like fucking America with no lube.
And it's like y'all, oh, the lesser two evils, all this other bullshit, and then look, y'all chose Trump, and we had a whole fucking insurrection.
All right. Here,
Yeah.
here I go. Here I go with my controversial shit again.
With the ultra religious. So we have like the Christian version of fucking Sharia law, which is, it's like, oh, but it's biblical. What happened to the separation of the church and state?
Right. We're supposed to separate church and state. That's definitely supposed to be separated. But now here I go with my controversial ass once again.
Let's go.
I hate the Democrats.
And we hate you back.
I hate the Democrats. I'm serious.
Okay.
Why? I need to hear this.
Tell me what
This is my first time hearing you say this. Wait. So are you like Republican?
No, I'm not Republican. Hell no.
Are you
I hate both of them. I am an independent.
Okay.
Oh, that's the biggest cop out I've ever heard.
Wait. I need to understand why you hate the Democrats.
All right, I'm gonna give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't lived in New York City now for a while, right?
2 years.
Do you see what's going on in New York?
I do.
New York is a trash state right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
you have people that like you can't even ride the subway anymore.
Why?
No, they're pushing people down the stairs in the subway, all sorts of shit right now. Stabbing people. They just had the homeless people. I just saw a video. This isn't off topic. This is on topic. I just saw a video of a guy on the 5 train, 6 o'clock in the morning, pull his pants down and take a dump in the middle of the train.
Well, let me tell you what I feel about what's happening because Georgia is no better.
I saw that one night I was wearing an evening dress, and I saw this guy outside the Waldorf Astoria pull down his pants and shit on the sidewalk. Outside the Waldorf Astoria, and I'm like, with a bunch of people, and we're wearing like all our best clothes, and some guy just like drops the
But this is New York now. This is New York.
But you know what I feel like?
It's because of the Democrats. And let me explain.
You really
I'm listening.
Let me explain. Here you go. And oh my God, this is gonna come out wrong, but it's so right.
In New York City,
it is so right. This is for the super woke white liberals that say, "Oh, we're doing this for the black community," but it's hurting the black community also. Look, when they did raise the age, I know a kid that got caught with a gun on Monday. He was out by Monday night. He robbed somebody Wednesday. He was out by Wednesday night. He shot somebody Friday. He was out by Saturday. Violent crimes. And their thing is, but it was unfair the way they did things with minorities. And I said, yes, all right, you need a change. You needed to change. You shouldn't get life for having a couple of bags of weed. I understand that. But you shouldn't be able to shoot somebody in the ass and be out the same day also. I think that's a problem.
No,
you shouldn't be able to molest a woman and fill her up on the train and be out the same day also. That's a problem. You have these people like this guy, Jamani Williams. He's supposed to be the public advocate. Everything to him is, oh, well, we're going to bring interrupters into school and we're going to help these kids. These kids don't like they're not hearing that. They're not checking for that. What he's doing is he's trying to pad his pockets. So he's trying to bring his programs into school. They'll get subsidized millions of dollars, and it still ain't doing nothing for the black community. And this whole these whole 2 or 3 years, crime has went up, shootings have went up, everything has went up. And like I said, I'm not telling you you have to lock up everyone and throw away the key, but I just feel at one time it was too far right, now it's too far left. Where's that happy medium where we understand you still need law and order, but that doesn't mean because you need law and order, you're going to lock everyone up and throw away the key. So that's why I'm not a fan of the Democrats. And remember, I love my history. Remember, the Democrats were the home of the Ku Klux Klan at one time.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Because
so don't forget that. Then also, what people don't even understand is the woman who started up the what is the thing for the abortion? I forgot what it's called. Planned Parenthood. She was a staunch racist also.
This is the biggest racist movement.
Right. And her whole idea was the more blacks we get to have abortions, the less black babies. And people wasn't even hip to that.
Yeah,
so like I said, everybody that tells you they're there for you isn't always there for you. You got to study people and understand. And like I told you, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. You know that old saying, Sean. Everybody that look at you like that, everybody that look like you, that doesn't mean they're for you. A lot of people will sell their soul for $1. So I'm like, we all got to find that happy medium. And I'm not a fan of Trump's, but I'm not a fan of Biden. So what has Biden done for us lately? Except fall asleep at the podium.
I'm exiting out at this point.
I'm serious. What has his vice president done? It's all a game. It's all a game. We that's why I said we have to get back to what we were talking about. We have to localize the vote. We have to get at people that's going to do for us, work for us, not for their pockets. We got to get for people to work for us, because there's no way I should be able to say, well, Barbara, I know right now you're pregnant and the baby could be real sick, but I could tell you can't have an abortion. If you have, I feel like I told Barbara earlier, I feel abortion shouldn't be used as birth control.
Right. I agree with that.
But I also feel
now who I think it's, and I'm sorry, don't at me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Alabama, and she's carrying a fetus that has no skull.
Right. That's insane.
Yeah, and
that's insane.
She
can't have an abortion.
She can't leave the state.
Right.
To go have.
They'll arrest her if she leaves the state to have an abortion somewhere else. But she's going to give birth to a baby without a skull.
Right. Who is ultimately going to live in tremendous pain for maybe a day or two.
Right.
Not even survive the birth. And they're probably going to end up giving her a C-section on top of all this.
Right.
When you could end the pregnancy and end the suffering of the mother.
And the baby.
And the baby.
But it's just that all is disgusting, because Instead of being humanitarians, people are making everything political. And it shouldn't be about politics. This should be about being a humanitarian. It should be
Right.
about what's best for the people. And to me, what's best for the people is your body, your choice, period. But like I said, even with your body, your choice, there still has to be rules and regulations. Like I said, it has to be a point where you could say, listen, you can't come in here every 3 months and have an abortion. That's a problem. Like,
Having been a woman for more than a half a century,
uh huh.
and having known other women for more than half a century,
hmm
I can tell you
That's not gonna happen.
that's not going to happen. And
All
once
right, I might have exaggerated every 3 months, but all right, I'll even say,
full disclosure, I had two, and
uh
both
huh,
times I was married.
uh huh. But all
Really?
right, my thing I'm saying with that is, I feel it goes back to the thing I'm saying. It shouldn't be used as birth control. You should regulate, and that's even for the woman's health also. Because if you're constantly in there having abortions like once every 6 months, maybe, all right, I'll move it up to 6 months. I think that could be a problem down the road. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said,
This is this is some kind of a narrative that doesn't really exist because I'm telling you,
no, I know a few that have been very busy. That has been very busy. Like, I know a female.
I'm thinking that the percentage of women that use abortion as birth control is
No,
way.
I think it's a little high. I think it's just not talked about, but I think it's there. I've known women that
Are very
had
busy.
more than two.
Just
Right.
let it rip and then go to Planned Parenthood.
Hmm.
That what?
Let it rip, go raw.
Yeah.
Then when they
Yes.
get caught, they go to Planned
Yes.
Parenthood and end it.
Yes. I
Hmm.
know a young lady that straight up told me, I do not like condoms. It's not, it doesn't feel as good. And I've had like 15 abortions. Straight up. Straight up. Now, like I said,
I'm not the biggest fan of condoms either, but nobody wants to make that choice. Nobody wants to go in there. There's not a good.
I think at one time nobody wanted to do it. We live in a different era in a different time. I think we live in a time where there's no like we always say, there's no discretion. People don't have the same morals that they used to. Women are just as fucked up as men, if not more. And this is part of the problem. Like, there's no, it's no blurred lines anymore. I know women that'll tell you, and I know you know a few of them, Sean. Listen, I just wanted to get mine. I'm not looking for nothing serious. I just want to have some fun, get my nuts
Yep.
off, and that's it. And that's what it's about. At one time, it was looked at as only men thought like that. In 2022, going on 2023, women are just as bad as men. Listen, 80% of the songs that's on the radio right now is talking about women popping pussy. Is that not true?
True. That's true.
And you look at TikTok, 70% of the women on TikTok is up there in their panties and bra, shaking their ass. And then they're like, um, they're like, what? What am I doing? What am I doing wrong? Like, look at Amber Rose cheering on her slut walk. And she got the right to be a slut, but let kids be kids.
She was cheering on her slut walk.
Yeah. She had something called the slut walk.
See, that used
And
to mean
and
something different.
what
And
happened?
now that used to mean something different.
No.
No,
She's saying
it means something different.
she's saying women have the right to be sluts. It's nothing wrong with being a slut. And she said it's nothing wrong with a woman being promiscuous. It's nothing wrong with that.
There
If
is
that's
nothing
what
wrong with it. That's the whole point that we're talking about body autonomy.
right,
You are allowed.
to do whatever you want to do. But my thing with that is, all right, damn, see, y'all gonna make me the controversial one today.
Oh no, you
Okay.
are definitely the bad guy this episode.
But I don't mind being the bad guy.
We can always be good every time.
But that even goes to the homosexuality conversation. I feel it's nothing wrong with that, but don't push it on kids when they're in grade school and 3 and 4, 5 years old. Let a kid be a kid.
I
As they
agree with
get older, if you want to discuss it, if they're getting into junior high school and high school, discuss it. Don't be a kid in the third grade talking about when Sally touches Mary. I'm sorry, like, give it time. Let children be children. We don't have to force nothing on them. Yes, it's your body, your choice. But even with the transgender thing, I'm sorry, you can't go to war. You can't drive until you're 18. But a 12 or 13-year old could say, "Oh, I want to chop off my penis."
All right. First of all,
Uh
if you
huh.
actually know about this, like
Huh?
really know, and I have experience with like people that I'm intimately involved with.
Uh huh.
You can't do any kind of surgical procedures until you're 18. You cannot. Not in any state. You cannot.
Oh, I thought you was able to do it.
No, you can take medications that
Or
will,
the hormone pills.
yeah,
The hormone pills.
delay puberty
Yeah.
and not.
But even with that, I think even with the hormone pills, I think they could wait a little while. I think until you're
No,
Well, let
because
me say, you know what? And this is not even
it's
I
too
agree.
because you can't. Once the body gets to a certain point, you
hmm
can't turn back time.
But you know what I feel like?
Too traumatic.
Like
Try and reverse what the body already did. But if you stop it, you give that child extra time to process.
okay.
You are not changing their legit born gender. You are just stopping puberty until, because almost every trans person knows before puberty. They know like real young. It's something they're born knowing.
hmm
Anybody trans that you will ever speak to will tell you, I knew when I was 3. I knew when I was 5. And these are people that didn't transition into their 50s or 60s. I knew I was playing Little League one time and I was watching like little girls skip rope and I just did not want to be there. And I knew that I had to be there. And I had no other choice. And vice versa. Like I knew that what was going on inside my body, what was not going on outside my body. And these are people that did not decide to transition until they were fully formed adults. This is one of those things that, like, until you know someone, until you know like an adult who made that choice as an adult, or a family that had to, like that had to, that were compelled to guide their child to transition, you know nothing. Like
Okay, I'll give that much, but like I said, I just feel.
I know how it looks on the outside.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, it is not a choice that any parent wants to make, but it is a choice that's absolutely clear to a parent that loves their child.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
what were you going to
I'm,
say,
I'm
Sean?
standing on it.
I was going to say that I think that
There's nothing
sometimes
funny about tonight's episode.
what?
There's nothing funny about tonight's episode.
No.
Now,
I feel like
next week we're going to cover farts.
we're gonna cover what? What we doing?
Oh,
Farts, like bodily fluids and gas.
Like I feel like it's not the same, but the same. But where Wise was saying like sometimes they could wait a little bit. Like I always tell this story. Like my son and it's he wanted a tattoo so bad, and he was 15. And I kept saying, nope, you got to wait until you are grown and you can sign the papers and you can pay for your own tattoo. Kept telling him, you can do you I'm not signing off on you getting a tattoo. And Jarrell didn't get a tattoo until his kids were born at 25 because of the simple fact is he honestly said like it was the trend at the time and he just was doing what everybody else was doing. So it was kind of like, so sometimes I like with certain things, I think kids should be kids and should wait to
mhm.
decide on stuff that, even if it's their body, because that's his body.
But see,
And I was like, nah,
With
huh?
Jarrell's evil twin, I used the opposite, and he didn't get a tattoo until he moved to Manhattan.
So he was what?
So he moved to Manhattan, and then he was 24.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like
But he
kids
got a
sometimes do
tattoo.
stuff because they feel
He,
like it's
his
the
brother
in
would
thing
have
at the time.
a tattoo any day of his life. He could have got a tattoo anytime after he was like 14. There
Really?
was no form to sign. It's a gray area. There is no form to sign if the tattoo artist is your family. And I would have covered my older son's ass and signed the form and backdated it if he did something that stupid. Because I would not, if little brother begged big brother to give him a tattoo, I would have been like, both you guys are assholes. But I would have signed the form and backdated the form and whatever. And Matt knew that. Like, he knew he could have had anything pierced, he could have had anything tattooed. There was never a day where it was off limits. Simply because, like, he went and apprenticed at a tattoo shop every summer during high school. He packed his happy shit up and went down to Philly and, like, was cleaning the tattoo shop and whatever. They would have given him any tattoo he ever wanted. He could have got, like, come back with, like, a whole, the map of the
Sleeve.
Great Wall of China on his back. And
Hmm.
there wouldn't have been nothing I could have done about it except sign the form and backdate it. Because I'm not going to, you know, it was the family business, and there was really nothing I could do about it. And my son's partner, who's been his friend since he was like 18, she's been a piercer, and I was a piercer. Like back in the late 70s to like the mid 80s, I was a piercer. I did people's ears and nose and what have
Did
you.
you really?
Oh, what didn't I do?
Right.
Yeah, for real. What didn't I do? But it was kind of like he had all the freedom. He had all the freedom to do whatever he wanted to do. Because there was also the other parent. If I said no,
He was gonna say yeah.
he would have taken him to like Mars and got him tattooed. He would have let him get a face tattoo. If I said no to like a little tattoo on his ankle, this guy would have taken him and got Mike Tyson's face Maori marking face tattoo. Like,
That's crazy.
oh no, it was like that. It was like that. One guy that I used to date was like, wow, how much does a healthy 14-year-old white boy cost? How much does a healthy 14-year-old Puerto Rican cost these days?
All right, I got one for you, Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
With the transgender,
Yes.
my body, my choice. All right.
Yeah.
But do you think if you're transgender and you're dating, you should tell people that you're transgender?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
I
Because I had someone argue me down
no.
that this person,
This is
oh,
what.
it's a woman now. You shouldn't have. They shouldn't have to tell you nothing. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, at one point they were a man, and I understand they transitioned, but I think I should have the right to know that.
I think if
Yeah.
you're dating, honestly, I think if you're dating somebody and it gets to the point where like you're going to be with them in the biblical sense, and you have 6 toes, you need to like give them the heads up. Just
I
so
think
Hey, big
I'm
girl.
about to take, I'm about to take my socks and shoes off and be intimate with you, and I'm just about to let you know that I got 6 toes on my left foot. You may not be ready for this. That might be where you're like, I, and I'm not trying to trivialize being trans or having 6 toes. But the deal is that when you want to have a relationship with someone, you need to give them some background.
right. That's my point.
Yeah. I mean, now,
Because the conversation was, oh well, that's why trans people are getting killed and hurt and stuff like that. And I'm like, but listen, I'm not justifying none of that.
are you killing somebody for having 6 toes?
But I'm saying if you tell a
Not killing
person
somebody
from the
for six
start,
toes.
if you tell somebody from the start that you was born a man and you transitioned and they choose to date you, it's no problem. But
Okay,
now,
but wait, I got a sidebar. Not to cut you off. I got a
uh,
sidebar to this.
To date
okay, go
you,
ahead.
and they cannot dead name you. They can't say, once you make that choice, you can't go back and dead name somebody. And that's what it means by like they're identifying as a man or a woman and you can't call them anything different because that's dead naming them. Like it is no longer your choice to decide if that person is a man or a woman. It's only their choice.
No, it's not your choice to decide if that person is a man or a woman, but it's my choice to decide if I want to date this person.
But
So
I
now
can,
if this
and,
person,
but I say this. I, I
okay,
I think that
Like, wait,
also the
this is different now.
the side part of the sidebar is we live in a homophobic world too. And
okay,
I, and not to say I do believe that if you're transgender, you should tell people, but I believe that some people are scared because like they fell for this person and they scared they might get hurt, they might get whatever. So that's why they think. But like so many people so homophobic, even back way back when. Look at remember what was that? Jenny Jones.
Oh,
What
that
she?
and that was just a gay guy.
That was just a gay guy saying, "Surprise, I like you," and the next thing you know, he was dead
no, see, I understand that.
because he was embarrassed If you all you had to do on the show is like, I'm not gay. You know what I'm saying? Stake your claim and keep it moving. But he was so embarrassed, he went back home and killed him.
That dude was an idiot, period. It wasn't about gay. It wasn't about straight. It was about he was a fucking idiot, period. He was one of those dudes that probably would beat a woman and all sorts of stuff. So
He was homophobic though.
he was just ignorant. But I'm saying, to me, it's a little different. If I'm in a bar and I'm sitting down and I'm sipping on something and somebody's next to me and I'm like, oh, they're nice looking. Now we having a conversation.
The Adam's apple.
Oh, well, no. Nowadays, that Adam apple you can't tell with the Adam's apple no more.
Check
So
it.
we having this conversation. We starting to talk. I'm not saying the first 5 minutes we talking, you should be like, you're transgender. But now I also feel, if you feel it, you're going to continue to talk to this person or it's going to go anywhere, you should open up and be like, listen, I want you to understand this is what it is.
I definitely agree with that. But I do understand.
I'm not saying the first 5 minutes.
I agree with that. The theory that also, if you're in a bar and you happen to be pregnant, but you're not with the father of your child, or you chose to have IVF or a donor or whatever, or you're a surrogate, and you're in a bar and you're with somebody and you're talking to them and it's getting frisky, they're obligated to tell you, I'm expecting a baby. Like my body is not in.
Not if she's looking for that baby daddy.
No.
Honestly, though, I feel like if you're pregnant, you shouldn't be in a bar.
And to like people who are legit, not somebody that's trying to scam you with someone else's potential.
But see, that's the problem. It's a lot of that going on nowadays.
Oh yeah.
That's why they're trying to push they're really trying to push a law that if a woman says she's pregnant by a guy, you have to take a DNA test to prove that it's that guy's. And I have no problem with that.
Yeah, a mother of boys, I definitely think that's important.
Yeah, I have no problem.
I'm a mother of boys, and I do not I think that I overstated the fact that you should not attempt or allow yourself to be in a situation where you could become a parent until you're fully ready. Because now, here I am at my advanced age, and no one is ever going to give me a grandchild. They are not going to make any new humans. And
you really think so?
Well, I know mine is. I already got them. But
I'm gonna get.
In the last 3 years, they did it 4 times over.
Yeah, there's just been.
They just fucking. They wilding out over there.
Do not go out in the rain without a rain jacket.
Period.
And they don't even go out when it's humid.
But like I said, I really believe a lot of stuff comes down to honesty and openness. And
sometimes when I talk to you, I'm like, damn, who hurt you?
Like me and my daughter-in-law, well, she ain't married to him yet, but me and my daughter-in-law was talking, and she was like, so what would you do if you hooked up with somebody and
why you gotta do
after the fact you found out they were transgender? I'm not gonna lie, I was like, yo, I would beat their ass. I'm serious. I would spaz out. I know it. Now, if you told me beforehand,
what's wrong with you when they tell you?
What happened?
Hopefully they're not in the same room with you when they tell you. Because if you didn't notice when you were like...
No. I'm saying
Adam's apple.
The Adam's apple, that was the old way. No, what I'm saying is you're out, you're on a date or whatever. You go out a couple of times, and now you guys actually get physical. And in the process of getting physical, you're
Oh,
like, hold up, there's a little more equipment here than I would think. So she was like,
That's
how would you?
wrong, though. That's wrong. You
Right.
should not. You should.
That's what
That's
I'm
wrong.
saying.
That is definitely wrong. You should not be where you are about to do it. Surprise!
Right.
We both got a dick. That's stupid. Like,
Right.
no,
And
that's
that's my
wrong.
thing.
That's wrong.
So she was like, oh, you will really be upset? She
Yeah,
even took
because
it
you're
to
not
another
gay.
level. She took it to another level. She said they were fully transitioned.
So they got
Cut
the
off.
JJ now.
Right.
Okay.
But after the fact,
and
they
that
tell you,
JJ was
I
probably
used to be a woman. I mean, I used to be a man.
You said what, Barbara?
that the JJ probably looks picture perfect. It's
And
probably because it's
tighter than.
white and new. It's
That don't matter.
like the prettiest thing
I'm telling you.
you
She was like,
ever.
how would you handle
Wait,
after the fact? They
wait,
told you
wait,
they used to be
wait,
a guy. Yes.
wait,
What?
Uh-huh.
wait. But listen, now if she got a JJ now, it's different if y'all
No,
getting ready to get thing and y'all both got a penis.
no. To me, it ain't different.
Somebody got it inserted somewhere. But
To me, it ain't different.
and if
I,
she
I
got a
said,
JJ,
I
she
said,
really is a legit girl now.
you give the person the option, you
Agreed.
give the person the choice.
Agreed.
Because to me, that's still trickery. You at one point was a male.
But you're not no more if you got a JJ.
You were
If you ain't got a
born
penis no more,
Valentino, now you're Valerie. So, like, no, you give me that choice. Because I'm serious. If I'm in that
You
situation
deserve, you
and you
deserve,
tell me that, I'm
but
going to
that's
take the life
why
out of you.
anyone deserves to know. I agree
everyone
with that. You
deserves to know.
deserve to know.
Because
That's all I'm saying.
not
That's like, all right, if I'm out at a
you
bar
have the right
and I
to
meet Barbara,
decide what you want to do with your
I
body,
meet Barbara.
and you do not want to cross that line with your body. Your body,
Right. That's what I'm saying.
right?
No, we're agreeing.
But I'm even giving it to you from a different perspective.
You're thinking like your body's on autopilot.
Right.
You
I'm
just
giving it to you.
have information to land.
I'm gonna give it to you from a completely different perspective. You both are young ladies.
Right.
We're at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
I,
And
I link up. I link up with Barbara. Right. I take her home. I knock it down. It was great. But right before I leave, I'm like, oh,
I'm a visual person.
I forgot to tell you I'm married. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like
Like I'm a piece of shit.
It depends. If you knocked it down,
you
I would be like, all right, I'm never seeing you again. If you knocked it down,
You know your brother knocked it down.
I
down.
never. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Who's gonna be mad at that? If you knocked it down,
Hey,
You know why you're gonna be mad at it?
I do,
why?
First
Because
of
you're
all, I
gonna want
know
it
you,
again?
Sean.
I
I know
do,
you, Sean.
and I wouldn't see
You're
you.
gonna be upset, like, yo, nigga, you could have told me that and gave me the choice. I might have still wanted to.
That's a fact. Because
Right,
you know I would have said exactly those words.
right, right. Now, then, since I knocked it down and it was good, and I'm like, well, you know, I can't like be doing this on the regular. You gonna feel some way, like, oh, you gonna
I'm
give me
gonna
the
fight
good
you.
D. You gonna give me the good D, and then I can't even get it on the regular because you married. You should have
Oh,
told me that before.
now you got the wrong chick. You could give me. I can tell you with infinitesimal certitude that I dumped the best D I ever had
Hmm.
out a blink. Like
But it had to be for a reason.
I just got like, this isn't. This isn't. Like we were kicking it for a summer.
And it was something about him you didn't like or didn't appreciate.
Yeah, like I knew this isn't. I don't see life at the end of this. He
Right,
wasn't married.
right.
I was
But what I'm saying is, I just think honesty is very important,
Agreed.
and I feel give people like I have got with women that's like, yo, all I want is the D. I don't care about nothing else. Like we just enjoying each other. It is what it is. Cool, cool.
well,
I have no
that was
problem
the
with that.
thing. That was the whole thing. I was happy. He was on, and we kind of had like a routine going on.
Hmm.
And then I just felt like I was like he was like one of my kids. Like at the time, I was like renting the whole bottom floor of a house with a yard and everything like that. And like here's this grown ass man like coming around the back gate. You barbecuing? Oh, did you bring like a big ass slab of meat with you other than your peen? No, you didn't. Oh, okay. So after I think one time he didn't knock it all the way down, and I was like, okay, good talk. Yeah, all right, bye.
I'm just a guy. I'm funny with. First of all, I'm funny across the board anyway with certain stuff.
Yeah, you got a lot of rules. I didn't think you were this rule oriented.
Why do
No,
you think I always say he got an ice box where his heart used to be?
but to me it ain't rules. It's respect. Period. Respect.
Right. I get the whole code of conduct that you have. Like
Right.
you have a legit code of conduct, rules that superheroes got to live by.
I'm
That's
dead.
right.
Not superhero.
I'm Captain Save-A-Ho.
Oh no! But you
You need to
replaced it with
stop being Captain Save-A-Ho.
when we get off the air. I'm going to tell you about the new and improved Long Island Captain Save-A-Ho.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
dead.
But my thing with that, like I said, is I don't feel like Sean always say I have a lot of rules and regulations. I said I see things in a certain way and I live by that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying if you're gonna say you about a certain lifestyle, you have to really be about that lifestyle. So like I don't believe in BS. I'm not a BS person. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I expect the person to keep it real with me. I just look at certain things like this is the way it is, this is the way it has to be. If it's not like that, I can't deal with you. And like like I said, I've been in situations where I'm like, once again, Sean, I tell you, I was dealing with a young lady. She's
Everybody's
actually a
breaks up like
supervisor on school safety now. But
That what?
she's a supervisor on school safety now. But she was married, right?
that.
I didn't know she was married at the time. And when
Oh,
I found out, right, you
okay.
when I found out, I was like, yo, like
What
you
had
played
happened?
yourself. And Sean was like, yo, you can't tell this female how to feel. And I'm like, I could tell her not to feel me. That's all right because you put me in a situation. I could have been outside with you. A motherfucker run up on me, ready to bust off. I
That's a
don't even
fact.
know why a person's upset at me because I didn't know your situation.
Right.
Like you don't never put anyone in a situation that is harmful, sneaky, none of that. Like be upfront, be righteous.
All right. So last word.
Go ahead.
Time. Last word. What do we know? Do what you need to do with your body. It's
Right,
your
do what you have to do for
Period.
yourself.
absolute right. But when your body is impinging on someone else's body,
Right,
you have to be 100%.
right, because you could get
No,
kicked down the flight of stairs.
there's no, I'll tell you tomorrow. Like, You want to go around and be Johnny Appleseed planting your tree all over New York City and the environs. That's fine. But make sure that all the trees you climb aren't on somebody else's property.
That's right. And I feel it's like that,
Yeah,
male or female.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Male or
What
female.
tree
Right.
in somebody else's yard, you got to be upfront with that both ways.
There you go. Your
Yep.
milk plate shouldn't bring nobody to the yard.
Yeah, no, nobody's milk brings nobody to the yard.
That's right.
We give 100% permission and radical honesty.
There you go.
Agreed.
That's what's up.
And
So,
I think we're going to talk about something really stupid like bodily fluids. If I think of a different topic, I'll let you know. But yeah.
Yeah,
bodily
we'll talk
fluid.
about it.
We're going to keep it
Well, that bodily fluid one could be very interesting.
really interesting.
All right, y'all.
We
Love
can
you guys.
Emotions and
Love
potions.
everyone.
Good
See you guys
night.
next time. Later.